I've sensed why you've come. I can hear it in your very breath. You came as a herald of the false god Sheogorath. I know his secret. I have seen his empty throne. Hey, welcome back to another Elder Scrolls video. And once again today, we venture into the depths of the Shivering Isles, home of the mad god Sheogorath, where he rules alone. Or does he? Just north of New Sheoth, in the Mania region, you will find the ruins of Fane. A group of heretics have set a base in the ruins that believe in a very different god, Gyub Lord of the Pit. There they sacrifice willing and unwilling to their deity, tossing bodies into an endless pit for their lord to feast on in the bowels below the dungeon. Beyond that very brief description of their sacrificial ceremony, there isn't really any proof of what Gyub is. No questlines mention him, there is no mention of Gyub outside of Fane, no mention of him outside of this DLC. The only thing I found even discussing him online was a single Reddit thread from like 6 years ago. So today we are going to read the only texts in the game from Fane that mention Gyub, and go through some theories as to what exactly is lurking at the bottom of this endless pit. First, a scroll that can be found within Fane that requests for more volunteers for the ceremony. My dearest cousin, thank you for last month's shipment. He was very pleased. I have found that when two are thrown in at the same time, the louder his response, and the longer it lasts. How exciting. Now, I understand how difficult it is for you to gather more volunteers, but I am in need of your services more than ever, cousin. You and I both know it will not be long until the day of rebirth is upon us, so the more we can offer, the better. When he arrives, I will make sure that you are duly rewarded for your services. Be sure to let our volunteers know how happy we all are with their commitment to the cause, and what an enormous impact they are having on the coming of the rebirth. And a book, Gyub Lord of the Pit, a liturgy in praise of an unholy monster. Praise of Gyub. Kneel, face forward, and raise hands above head. Praise be Gyub, Lord of the Pit. Hear us warbling Redeemer. Hail the rebirth approaching. Praise be to Gyub, Lord of the Pit. Lower hands and close eyes. Please accept our offering, merciful one. Extend your tentacles and accept this gift. Bless us, embryonic prince. May this offering satisfy your infinite maw. Stand, open eyes, and wait for volunteer to be escorted to the precipice. Please accept our offering, O merciful one. Feed and grow now, our prince. Arise and devour oblivion hence. May this offering sate your growing bulk. Open floor and grasp volunteer by wrist and ankles. Gently swing with sideways motion. Praise be to Gyub, Lord of the Pit. Mag Arathala, Mag Anutagan. Praise be to Gyub, Lord of the Pit. Begin to rhythmically stomp feet, all the while swinging the volunteer faster and faster. When volunteer has reached maximum height, release wrists and ankles. Wait for the screaming to stop. Face forward and raise hands above head. Praise be to Gyub. Call to us, prince. Sing your fell tune. Praise be to Gyub. Wait for Gyub to respond. Get down on knees with hands still raised above head. All hail Gyub, Lord of the Pit. All hail rebirth, day of our death. All hail Gyub. All hail Gyub. Well, now that we have basically all of the information that there is on Gyub, let's get into some theories. And just to clarify, these are all just theories. There is kind of not a lot, in at least that I saw, to go off of going through the dungeon, going through the lore. So if you have your own theories, or you have any critiques of the theories, please let me know in the comments. As much as I really want this theory to be true, there is absolutely no way this is. Peryite is the Daedric Prince of Pestilence, the Taskmaster, and the weakest among the Daedric princes. The only real connection to this is that his realm is called the Pits, and Gyub is the Lord of the Pit. Super compelling, I know. It's like saying Sheogorath is the god of Admora because it's a shivering isle. You better have fucking laughed at that. I really just don't see the endgame as to why he would want sacrifices from random residents of another Daedric prince's realm. It doesn't look good. I'm sorry, Taskmaster. Maybe next time. I'm so full of hate! In the ceremony, it describes Gyub as having tentacles. Who else fits that but Hermaeus Mora, Daedric Prince of Forbidden Knowledge? I actually kind of really like this theory. In the book, Gyub Lord of the Pit, they describe feeding him as sating his growing bulk, his infinite maw. Instead of interpreting this as growth as in size, you could interpret this as a need for more knowledge, which is something Hermaeus Mora definitely had, in a very lethal way. Famously, in the Skyrim DLC Dragonborn, the prince killed the Skull Leader to absorb his secret knowledge. Can totally see a world where he disguises himself in order to steal interesting tidbits and fun facts from the other Daedric princes, all to feed his endless library in Apocrypha. Yeah, this one's one of those no shit ones. It's his realm, he's the god of madness. It makes sense. I really don't have anything to really say about it. I just think the idea is funny to just have them be worshipping this thing. And then he comes out of the pit, reverts back into Sheogorath and goes, haha, made you worship a false idol, and then has all of their insides turn inside out and splatter all over the wall. So this is one that I've personally come up with that I think, while not 100% plausible, is kind of interesting to the greater story of the Shivering Isles. A lot of the heretics in Fane and in the text talk about a rebirth. I even went on a little bit of an insane multiple-day tangent trying to figure out what these two words mean, and maybe sort of translated it into this. I don't know if this was the original intention, but it all speaks to a great new god, if this is true, coming to create a new day, where this Gyub will rise and take its rightful place as prince. It kind of sounds like, to me at least, an interpretation to the events of the main story. What if you, the player, the hero of Kvatch, are Gyub? I'm not going to go too deep into it because I think this deserves a video in and of itself. But an event happens on the Shivering Isles once every era where Sheogorath turns into his original form, Jyggalag, the Prince of Order, and completely destroys the Shivering Isles, only to revert back into Sheogorath to rebuild his mad realm in whatever mad way he sees fit, until the cycle eventually starts again. But in the events of the DLC, the main character is able to defeat Sheogorath as Jyggalag, breaking the cycle and mantling and eventually becoming Sheogorath himself, an embryonic prince, if you will. Could somehow these heretics have predicted your mantling of Sheogorath and are just trying to get on your good side by devoting themselves to you by throwing a bunch of people into a pit? I don't know, just a cool thought. Please let me know specifically about this one what you think in the comments. I'm very curious how people receive this one. This theory, objectively, is the theory that makes the most sense and has the most in-game evidence to support it. There was never a Gyub. Gyub is a collective psychosis created by the heretics of Fane. So a little bit of a tangent. I was rewatching the Hobbit movies recently, and I got to the point where Bilbo and Smeagol, now Gollum, are having the riddle competition in the cave. Smeagol was once a normal hobbit, but after being trapped in the dark with the ring for so long, his mind split into two, and he gave the other personality the name of the sound that he would involuntarily just make with his throat. Became Gollum. I don't know if that was the direct inspiration, but what sound does a body make when you throw it into a pit of water? Gyub. And according to the recruiter's cousin, it was louder when you threw in more sacrifices. Just like when you throw a larger object into water, it's just a larger splash. The hole is covered in these vines and roots that jag out in random different directions, which could be easily construed as tentacles. These people are just doing nothing but feeding the monsters and creatures that live at the bottom of the pit. There is no lord of the pit. There is no Gyub. It is just the illusion and the madness of the Shivering Isles. Hey, thanks for watching that thing that you just watched. This video was definitely a lot more speculation than just reading lore, and I had a lot of fun just going insane trying to figure out what the fuck this thing was, and I hope you enjoyed the insanity that went along with the video. Of course, you can like, comment, subscribe, do all that other fun stuff if you so wish. I have other lore videos at this point if you want to take a look at as well. And as always, remember, all hail Gyub, Lord of Nothing.